Hello, awesome students. Miss Z here with a quick video on how to work Microsoft Online. If you are a Microsoft lover, then you will love this video. To access your Microsoft tools, you will go to office365.houstonisd.org and log in with your credentials. Once you are logged in, you will see all of these options. You have a ton of options. This is how you will access them quickly online. You also have access to them in your computer, and you can do it that way as well. This is a way to do it through your Office 365, which will save it to your OneDrive. That's a good idea because if your computer crashes, you will still have access to that information. The first thing I would do to set yourself up for success is to click on OneDrive and organize yourself with folders. I would make a folder with each one of your classes. So let's say that I have a class, World History, and my teacher is Ziegler. I'm going to create that folder. I would do that for each one of my classes, and now all of my assignments for World History can go in this folder, and I'll be able to find it very quickly. When you go back to your apps, now I want to make a document. I would make a document, and when I save it, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to name it World History, maybe Unit 2 Vocab. Now, it's saving it in the Documents folder. But if I want to save it in my World History folder, I would go over here and press Save As, and then I would change this folder. I want it to go to the World History folder, so I'm going to grab that and then press Save. Now, this document with my Unit 2 Vocab will be in my World History folder, and I'll be able to find it very quickly. You can insert tables, pictures, links. If you insert a link, you can also display the text here so that you know what link that goes to. And then you just click on that to be able to get to a link. You can put in new comments. Header and footer means that it's at the top of your page and the bottom of your page. So if your teacher asks you to put your name on the top of your page and maybe the type of assignment at the bottom, that's how you would add that in. Here are your options over here, and you know that you have them by the fact that they are right here. If you need to change them, you can do it that way. You can also add in page numbers, symbols, emojis, which is kind of cool. Anything to do with layout will be in your Layout tab. Here's how you change the margins. You have some settings here for you. These are standard settings, but you can also customize it. If your teacher says, I want you to have a top margin of 1.5 inches, there you go. Now you have that margin put in there. So just keep in mind that you can also customize it if you don't want any of these predetermined margins. You can change your orientation here, the size here. Indent just means how far my tab is going to go when I press the tab button. Spacing before paragraph and spacing after paragraph. By default, it will automatically space after a paragraph. You can change that if you would like. And here are some more options over here. In the paragraph options, this is where you will have your line spacing. So your teacher might say, I want it single spaced or I want it double spaced. This is how you change that right here. You also have access to word count. This is important if your teacher says that you need a minimum of 50 words. That counts it for you, which is really convenient. We have an option in here called Immersive Reader where you can put anything in here and it will read it for you. You just click on Immersive Reader and play it, and it reads it for you. That's kind of cool. And last but not least, don't forget about your Help tab. If there's something that you can't find, look it up in the Help, and hopefully you'll find it that way. You also have access to online Excel and online PowerPoint, as well as OneNote. OneNote is somewhat like a notebook. I'm going to show you some tools with online PowerPoint. This is very similar to your regular PowerPoint presentation. You have all these backgrounds over here. Oh, that one's cool. And insert new slide. Just kind of play around with this. You'll see how to insert shapes. You can do pictures and tables. You can draw in here. That's really cool. You can do transitions in between your slides. So if I have a slide down here and I want to insert a transition, I want it to fade to the next one. When I present, you'll see that transition play out. Don't forget you have this help option over here. So if you can't remember how to insert a link, you can look it up. Don't forget when you want to click off of the drawing, you have to select your mouse again, and then you'll be able to select text. To insert a link, you first have to type in your text. So let's say I'm going to have a link to a journal article. Then you go to the Insert tab, over here to these three little dots, and press on Link. Now I can put the link to my article in there, and when I click on that, it will pull up that article that I wanted to link. Always check your links to make sure that you've copied and pasted it in there. This is very helpful to remember as well, because sometimes you don't do it very often and you forget how to do it. So remember that you can have it here. If you need to share this link with someone, you can do that by copying it. You can go to your Outlook, or you can share it with an email address. Notice that it gives you options of allowing to edit or not allowing to edit. That's important. And access to people within the HISD network. You save this the same way. This one, I'm going to say this one is for math, and it is Unit 3 fractions. If I want it in my specific math folder, I would go over here to save a copy, and then I can change the folder that it is in. OneNote is kind of cool too if you want to make a digital notebook in here. I usually use Google Docs, but if you're a Microsoft person and you want to do this in OneNote, it's an awesome tool for you to be able to use and explore. I would make sections in here for each one of my units. You'll see up here that it dates your notes, which is really awesome. If you have specific activities that a teacher gives you, you could put the links in here so that you don't lose them. You can insert pictures and forms, stickers, all these different things. You can draw in here. This also has the immersive reader. So if you're struggling with reading a specific article or something like that, you can copy and paste it in here and it will read it for you. You could change the page color, that's kind of cool. And you have your help option as well. If you want to create other notebooks, you see that I have other notebooks that were created once upon a time. You can do that and then click between them very easily. You can also access this on your computer without internet, and it should jive and update your internet one as well. So if you're ever without internet, you can get to it as well. You also have some other apps over here. Sway is for presentations, and that might come in handy while you're doing digital learning. You have forms, and if you're somewhere and you need access to your home screen again, you just click on Office 365 and that will take you back to this home screen. And one last option that you have as a student, if you have a computer that's not the school computer and you need Microsoft Office put on that computer, you do have some free downloads of Microsoft Office. I believe the last time I checked, you have 2 or 3, but you at least have one. So if you need that on one of your computers, you would log in and install Office in that way. And that wraps up this video of how to work Microsoft 365 for Microsoft lovers. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for listening, and happy virtual learning.